Here we go. Hi. Hello, everyone. This is Lisa, the multifaceted medium, and I'm with my friend Dawn here.
Hi.
So we did some emotional reprogramming on Dawn, but before we started, we actually met in my office, and I'm just looking at my notes here. We actually did a Reiki session, and before Dawn started, she was saying that her pain level in her ankle, you had broken it before or fractured it?
I broke the foot, but probably pulled some tendons and so forth in the ankle too when I did that.
Okay, so there was a lot of pain in there, and she was level 7. It was your right foot, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So the pain level on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, she came in at a 7 is what she shared with me. After we did the Reiki session, it went down to a level 4, which is great because it fluctuates. We found that from time to time. We've done work on her before. I'm so grateful, Dawn, that you want to share this with us again because I do know that it helps a lot of people to see this. Okay, so about 2 weeks later, we went in and did an emotional reprogramming session. That's what these results are from. And Dawn told me that her pain level that day was up at an 8. So it had gone back up, which is normal, especially when other emotions are in there. We only were able to move one emotion. So we were going in then to do the emotional reprogramming. So it's not unusual for it to go up and down. I had explained that to Dawn, but I'll just share that with you guys here on the camera. We knew there was definitely some attached emotions. They were connected to other areas too. That was some of what we felt. But when we were finished the session, I contacted Dawn and we just spoke briefly, and now we're doing a follow-up. But briefly when we spoke, Dawn told me she was at between a level 3 and a 4. But by the end of the conversation, we were able to validate some things. Is that correct? I do remember.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, and then it seemed like emotionally, she was able to even bring herself lower, which is so powerful because again, when we do this work, I'm not doing the healing. Spirit is doing the healing, but you're the one that's actually allowing it. So I love that you as the person who is my sitter or client is able to allow the energy to flow through, and I'm just the vehicle or channel that they work through. So we were able to bring her from a 3 or 4 down to a level 2, or like I said, she was able to bring herself. So Dawn, I'm going to let you share with me anything that you noticed since then, and I know you had some chills and some interesting feelings, which we discussed were spirit energy popping in, and sometimes I was feeling a little bit of that release, like a belching, but you weren't getting that. You were getting more like a coming up, like a warmth. So it was a similar sensation, and everybody's going to feel it differently. So I'm going to hand the camera and let you share whatever you'd like to share. And before we even start that, though, let me ask you this. But where are you now? I know you said it fluctuated again.
I would say I'm back down to a 2.
Okay.
It's there. I can feel it's very tender at the top of my foot.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that night it actually went down to a 2. So which is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you say it went up a little from the other night or went down? Because it was still at a 2. Would it be like a high 2 or a low 2?
I would say at the 2, after our conversation was done, it went during the night, the evening, to a 1.
Okay.
Okay,
So
and
okay.
And almost down to a 0 because it felt really, really good.
Yay.
So by the time I got up the next day, it was back up to a 3 or 4. I could feel right away when I wake up, I could just feel the top of my foot. It was tender, and but not up as high as an 8 or a 7 like I was when I started. It was more like a 3 or 4 and didn't go past that.
Okay. And again, let me explain this. I shared this in another video, but in case people didn't see it, when it does tend to fluctuate up, and I think I shared this with you as well, that is a lot of, because there's still other emotions and it's like peeling the layers of an onion. So we only did one little area. This is just a little sample to try it, see if it would help you. And just the fact that we were able to bring it down a little bit is huge. Once you start peeling more layers of that onion and get in there and take more of that emotion out, and there's a lot more emotion in different areas, and depending on, again, you know, and you don't need to share your age, I know you told me before, but wherever people are when they do this work, that's how many years you've been programmed by our parents, TV, the universe, people that come into our lives, and things happen and we accept it and we just think it has to be that way, and I'm here to tell you that it doesn't. You can shift that energy, and spirit is the holy shift. So with them is how I feel like that works. So let me ask you what else you would like to share. You took some notes, so please share.
Getting back to what you said, I completely understand the concept because you've explained it so well. and reiterated that this is years in the making. And so what I experienced the other day, I think, was like just a little sample of what can be done. So I look forward to continuing the work because I feel that it's powerful, has an effect, and I want to continue that process.
Good.
Sure.
Yeah, I definitely think you'll see big results, and it'll be interesting to do another follow-up afterwards and really see that is going to be gone, because I feel like once we get in there and it's connected to other areas, and I had shared that with you in our personal interview, when it's connected to other areas, once you clear those areas, then it's like free. It can actually dissipate completely. So it'll be very interesting to see, because you've been dealing with this pain for how long now?
This in my foot has been just about a year, because I did my initial injury was a stumble on the stairs, and that's what set all this in motion.
I remember that now. I remember that. Okay, so I didn't remember how long it was, but about a year or so. That makes sense.
Right. So, and initially it was a fracture of the toes. They healed up just fine. It was this ankle thing. It stayed with me, got better, came back, and that's what it's been doing throughout the year. So,
and it is interesting. I think we might have shared this too, but I'll just share this with everybody on here. The ankle is your support system. So think about that. If your support system is not as strong, and I'm not saying it's not, but think about that. And as you're shaking your head, I'm thinking maybe I'm hitting something that makes sense to you and you don't need to share it. But I do believe that, if you don't have that strong support in any way, shape, or form in your life, for whatever reason, maybe it was programming from when we were a child, or it could be relationship stuff, it could be friends, it could be family. Think about that. It's an anchor. And when that's weak, it's just like a foundation of a house. That'll tend to be the weak spot. A lot of people have different areas, and I'm not pointing that out for you in particular, anybody. So just people going through that, if you're someone who gets sick a lot and the lungs fill up, or you have issues with the lungs, maybe that's a weak spot for you. Maybe that's an area that's full of a lot of emotions. So emotional baggage. So it's just something to share. So go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. Today it's backed out a little bit. So maybe there's a little bit of releasing going on just because of awareness. And I remember what you said the other day. There are things that came up for you your observations. And so I thought about them, but didn't latch onto them.
Good.
I like to practice what you said, that's the letting go, and just practice saying, I'm letting go, just saying that.
Yeah.
Rather than saying, what can I do about that? I don't know what the answer is, and mulling it over. I'm not letting that happen.
No, that's wonderful. And that in itself is a huge awareness. It's a huge shift for you.
Well, that's because of you. That's because of what you have done, the work, what you have taught me. So.
No, I appreciate you saying that, but I really believe it's because you heard it at the right time. So, but I thank you for saying that, and I'm very grateful. Instead of saying letting go, another way to say it too is I surrender. I surrendered all the things I don't need. It's almost easy to say that and just release. So it's just another way. So did you notice any, when I was saying to you, there may be some side effects, like some of those emotions may come back up. Were you aware of them, or did you happen to notice them at all?
I did a little bit of yawning afterwards, and it wasn't prolonged, but I wasn't tired or anything. So I was doing a little bit of yawning. I had a little bit of emotional release. But again, I think this is like the tip of the iceberg, but I could definitely feel things, maybe the log jam beginning to just loosen up a little bit.
That's wonderful. That's huge. Itself, just the fact that you're so aware of that, some people aren't even aware of their body. So I do like to share that sometimes those emotions that we clear do come up, and sometimes it'll take a day or so for it to fully clear. So I love that you were aware of it. You knew it wasn't really something that you weren't tired. You knew that yawning is a release. So crying can be a release, yawning, belching, which is what I feel a lot. So I guess it's good. I was saying to you that I don't do this in person. Not the prettiest thing. I always thought that was kind of gross, but what are you going to do if it works and you can feel the energy? It's just energy, and that's all this is. And, tapping into that energy is just something that if it helps you as a client, that's wonderful. Then my job as a practitioner is done.
It's pretty amazing that you can do that remotely.
It is amazing.
And tap into energy, and then you have that release. So I think that's pretty incredible.
But it's kind of like, if you think about it, it's like doing a reading. If somebody wants me to connect in with their loved ones or do a card reading or whatever, it's just energy. So we're just setting the intention, we want to connect with spirit, and the reading's the same as if we were in person, and you'll feel all the energy just like when I do a reading in my office and people are feeling that energy of their loved ones stepping in with this mediumship. And they're like, that's so crazy. But if you think about it, when you talk to somebody on the phone, if they're out in California and you're thinking of a friend, I just use this as an example. You think of a friend maybe out in California or on the West Coast, and you're thinking about them all day, and then they call you and you're like, I've been thinking of you all day.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But it is hard to wrap our heads around because we just don't think like that. But I find that the more I do it remotely, it can be done in person, absolutely. I find remote is easier just because it's almost like when I do a reading, sometimes I'm better blindfolded because I can't see you. And for you to validate back, to me, that's the aha moment, because you're having it and I'm having it because I have no idea. I can't see your face. And I'm like, wow, because it really, you're working with spirit, and I was blown away. So I really think the readings like this are, doing the work by proxy like this, it's even easier. And it's almost like you as the client can relax, can lay down. You can be busy doing work. You can kind of do whatever. So it's kind of cool. So thank you so much. Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I think just some of the things that you brought just to my awareness as to something that may be going on. I think what was a tremendous relief was thinking, this isn't all me, that it's stuff from like before, because I tend to blame myself for things. And to know that this could be like an ongoing thing is just was a big, I guess, relief for me to hear. There might be stuff from generations prior to me that was passed along, and how about that for a possibility?
And that's what really blew my mind with this work. That's one of the biggest things, the biggest aha moments I had personally, and that I think a lot of the clients have. Because we don't think it can be, we think it's all ours. And that's such a hang up for most of us, because we think we're not good enough, or we did something wrong, or, all kinds of stuff like that. And I don't know if I shared this with you, and I'll just briefly share this because I think it's really helpful for people to know. When I was younger, I had so much rage, and I did not know where this came from. I'm not a really rageful, kind of mean, angry person.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I had such rage, and then I'd have such depression. I didn't know where it came from. And I'm like, this can't be mine. Well, I'm finding out now this wasn't mine. I'm doing all the work on myself now. And, every day I'm clearing emotions and doing this work. It's not a once and done. Not that people have to do it all the time, but I'm constantly going in because I want to learn new techniques, and I'm working with myself and my guides. But what I'm finding is, once you do this work, you have the tools, the techniques, and different things that you can implement to help yourself along, so you don't have to do it all the time, but it is something to do, kind of regularly to get most of it to clear. Finding that, that a lot of it's not yours is such a relief, because you're like, wow, it's not my stuff. But after I've cleared this, I don't have that rage anymore. I mean, I used to have such rage, like almost road rage. Like I was nasty. Don't get near me, all right? But, I find now it doesn't affect me as much. So pay attention for yourself. Some of those emotions that we did clear, and as we keep going along, as we go through them, notice if when things are happening, again, I always say they're happening for you, not to you. So how can I learn from that? But also you can take that experience, and when it comes at you, see if it deflects, or if you can kind of dodge it and it goes over you instead of hitting you and like, you'll notice a difference. Because I notice now, like I'll be driving and somebody cuts me off and I'm like, God bless you. Some days I'm still a little angry, but I notice I'm better.
I heard that.
A lot better, because we're not perfect. We're human beings.
No.
Living this life.
Absolutely.
That's the way we can.
Yeah, that's right.
So
doing the best we can with what we have.
Absolutely. So Dawn, thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you wanted to come on and share with everybody. And I'm sure the people out there in YouTube land are grateful too. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely subscribe, hit the little bell for the notifications. And in the meantime, take care, brush your hair until we meet again. Thank you, Dawn. Have a great night, everyone. Peace. Hang on.